Baby, while we're young, I think we should do something crazy.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. I think I'm gonna only do one intro, but this is my wig series on how to slay your frontal. Mind you, I'm not like the best at frontal, but you know, I think I did a pretty good job. I love how my color turned out. I'm going to work on customizing because I want to master that and have this lace melted. But you know, it's gonna be like my third frontal. I think I did a pretty good job. It's definitely better than my first two, so making progress. I'm going to show you guys my tips and tricks. I also got tips and tricks from other YouTubers. Yeah, like Tiarra Monet, Sophiology, Char, $1 Million Baby, Laurasia Andrea. Yeah, they came clutch when I was learning how to make my wigs, so I'll leave all the information down below. Get into the video. Okay guys, so here's my frontal. It's from Wigs. This video is not sponsored. I purchased this from my own coins. I like how the frontal did not have a lot of bulkiness at the hairline. However, it did have a lot of flyaways and like shorter hairs in it, and I didn't like that. It was full, like the ends were full. In the middle part, y'all see that middle area was the fullest part of the frontal. The sides were rather thin. Alright y'all, so I'm using some BW2 Bleaching Powder with some 40 volume developer. Now make your mixture super thick. Like, you want this to be thick where your brush is literally standing up in the bleach mixture. You want to make sure it's not falling off the brush. So right there, that's too loose. That will seep through the lace and get on the hair, and then you have to go back and dye your roots, and we don't have time to be doing that, so we just gonna get it right the first time and make sure this mixture is thick. So what I did was went back and added some more powder, and now y'all see my brush is standing up. She ain't falling, she ain't going nowhere. That bleach is not falling off my brush, so we're good. So you want to make sure that you are not pressing down into the frontal. Like, I slowed this part down so you guys can see. I am lightly smearing this on that top layer where the knots are. I'm not pressing it down. We just lightly spreading it, and you really want to make sure that you get all the hairs at the hairline. I did miss a couple. If you do that, you know, you can just go back and redo it. So I put that all over the frontal, and then I am going to place that on my foil and let that sit. And I set my timer for, I believe, 25 minutes the first time. And I just like to separate the hair and make sure that it's not on the roots. And it wasn't, so I was good. Alright, so after that 25 minutes was up, I'm just checking the knots to see what color they were. They were not light enough for my scalp. So I left it on for an additional 10 minutes. I honestly could have left it on for like 5 more minutes because it still wasn't like my scalp color. But I'm rinsing the bleach off my frontal now, and I'm going to show you guys what the knots are looking like. So this is what my knots look like, and as you can see, it does look skin-like, but it's a tad bit orange. So to tone out that brassiness, I'm going to use some Shimmer Light shampoo, and I'm going to massage this into the frontal really good. And then to tone it, I'm going to leave that shampoo sitting in the frontal for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so the 15 to 20 minutes has passed of me letting my frontal tone. So I rinsed that out, and you guys can see that it definitely looks more skin-like now. So I'm going to move on to plucking my frontal. So I put my frontal on my canvas blockhead, but I had to put a plastic bag up under it because I didn't want my blockhead getting ruined. So I'm showing you guys the frontal, and I told you guys earlier I feel like the sides were much thinner than the top part. Y'all see how the top is nice and full. Yeah, I don't know why the sides were that thin, but anywho, you guys can see that the frontal came with like these pre-done baby hairs, but the hairline is like really thick. So you want to make sure that you are getting a nice gradient from really thin at the hairline to a little bit thinner, than, you know, a little bit fuller to full hair. You do not want it to look like you're wearing a wig. You know, girl, you need to be serving scalp. So like I said, I'm not the best at this, but I did try different techniques throughout this process, and I just kept combing it back, combing out the hairs that I plucked. to see, you know, how much more I needed to do. This process can take a while. So I'm combing it back and it's looking more natural now, and I'm just like pulling it through my knuckles and trying to get that line out that you guys can see, to make sure that it's a gradient and not, like I said, going from thin to thick hair immediately. You want it to. Okay, so now I'm on the other side and I'm trying out doing triangle parts, and I did like doing it like that. And throughout this process, I was trying to figure out whether I like plucking on wet hair or dry hair better, and I definitely feel like I like dry hair better because you can see exactly what the hair looks like when it's wet. It seems like, okay, you know, it looks natural, I can stop plucking now, but when it's dry you can really see what it is. So I think I like plucking on dry hair. So in the front area, I tried this weaving technique. If you've been to cosmetology school, then you know that's like a technique for highlights. And I just weaved out pieces in the front and pulled those down and then start to tweeze like that. Yeah, it was just something I was trying out, but like I said, I was trying out a whole bunch of different stuff. So that's how much hair I tweezed out initially. Now I put the wig on my head, and as you can see, yeah, it needed more work done. So I took some different tweezers. These are not the same ones I was using, and I like these a little bit better. It was pulling out the hairs, but not like too much at a time. So y'all, I went at this for a while after it was on my head. I kept combing it back until I got what we have now. So yeah, this is the end of this customizing portion. Like I said, I'll do an updated one when I master it, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 2.
Got that VVSICE, oh, feel like a cooler. Juice, blaming on my jeweler.